welcome back to the Will Be Extras. I'm Jeff.
I'm Ron.
Why are we watching Deadpool right now?
I guess because we have a podcast to do.
But Deadpool.
I know.
So, I figured out what we can use to grow our fan base, Ron.
Okay.
We hire the Deadpool marketing team. They'll more than double our subscribers. We might crack a dozen. Right there. I mean, we're talking like maybe 15. That's almost
That'd be pretty
triple our growth.
That'd be pretty sweet. I wouldn't even know what to do with all that fame, dude.
So, the movie came out last Friday. We are recording this on Wednesday. Each of us have now seen it twice already.
I saw it twice by Sunday.
So, obviously, you can tell by that we really, really enjoyed the movie. But I thought before we dove into the news, since it was all Deadpool related to start off, we would give our quick, spoiler-free review on Deadpool. It was so good. It was just fucking incredible.
It was fucking fantastic. You need to see it.
It was. I was talking with
Reese, listeners.
Reese, actually, on Facebook about it, and I think it is the most faithful adaptation of a comic I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah?
And I was talking to him about it. I was like, because I think he commented on my post where I was talking about, like, I've seen basically every notable comic adaptation, and I think it is the most faithful. Just based off of the writing, and especially, like, Ryan Reynolds was born to be Deadpool.
Yes, he was.
Like, absolutely. Like,
he's Deadpool in every movie he's ever been in.
He is as
even Green Lantern, he was a little bit of Deadpool.
For Deadpool, he is as good at being Deadpool as Hugh Jackman is at being Wolverine and Robert Downey is at being Iron Man.
Yeah.
He's up there. He's that perfect for it. The action was great. You can't, like, you have to watch it 2 or 3 times because there's so many good jokes. You miss jokes because you're laughing at the one right before it.
Yeah.
That's, like, it's just, it was...
It's still a new movie the second time you see it.
Yeah, it was super, super meta. They have jokes that, like, just basically anything you could think of related to the other X-Men movies. It was just great. It is, for sure, in my top 3 for the year. And it could it's going to take something to knock it down to not be number 1, because I fucking love that movie.
Well,
like,
all I've seen this year is Revenant and Deadpool. So right now, Deadpool's number 1.
Just like looking at the landscape, like, I think it's going to take, out of the superhero stuff, probably either Doctor Strange or Civil War.
Yeah.
As for that of the superhero stuff,
Doctor Strange is what I'm still anticipating to be my number 1 of the year, most likely.
It's such a ridiculous year for like, I mean, you never.
So if it sucks, I don't think I'm ever seeing a movie again.
Because
you know me, I don't get that excited for stuff.
And like, we could very well be talking like Suicide Squad as our favorite of the year, because
it could totally pull Guardians, even if the story sucks. It could just be so fun.
Yeah, seriously, go watch Deadpool though, for sure. Now you understand why myself included and the rest of the internet freaked the fuck out at X-Men Origins, because that is what
I still don't see.
That is the potential. No, it's that character right there in that film, and all of that potential was this close to never happening because of that movie.
Yeah, but their idea was they were going to set it up for him later. That was the idea behind that.
But they did such a bad job that it almost never happened. Like, if that experimental test footage doesn't leak, I don't think we're talking about this movie right now. Like, it was that close, never happening. So that right there, because that is one. I think that is one of the. I mean, we've gotten 15,000 comic book movies. That is one of the better ones, I think, of the last few years. It was very, very good.
Well, it's also refreshing because of how different it is.
Yeah.
It changes up the formula. Actually, I don't think it had a formula.
Yeah, that's actually, it's a good. Yeah, right. It's a good segue. We're going to talk about just how popular it was, because the box office returns on Deadpool was just ridiculous.
Yes.
Actually, if you can, seek out, there's like a meme where they've combined the openings for the first installment of all the franchises for Fox, Marvel, Sony, like all of them for superhero stuff, and it's like the biggest of the opening. Like, Avengers doesn't count because it was a team-up movie, but the solo ones, I think it has better than all of them. For the 3-day weekend, 132 million, which is just astronomical, because like, one of the comparisons I made was Amazing Spider-Man 2 is Spider-Man and a sequel, 92 million for the opening 3 days.
Yeah.
Deadpool, like, I mean, we're talking Spider-Man one of the top 3 most recognizable characters out of superheroes on the planet.
Yeah.
And fucking Deadpool, 40 million more for the weekend. For the 4-day week, for including the holiday, 152. And this is a really interesting thing. All-time R-rated opening weekends. The previous number 1 was The Matrix Reloaded with 91 million. Deadpool for the 3-day, 132.
Wow.
None of them had ever hit the $100 million mark. So what that means is it opens the floodgates for more R-rated superhero stuff, which is fucking awesome because we've been talking about that forever. Wolverine, always, like, they did a good job for PG-13, but his superpower, like I said earlier, is to cut people with knives. So when you can't have fucking blood, it's kind of problematic.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like in X-Men 2, the scene where he's just whooping ass in the mansion when they invade the mansion would be so much more cool if he's just eviscerating them, you know what I mean? Like, it's cool, but it could have been much better. So, yeah, the producers over at Fox have now been teasing X-Force and Wolverine 3 as the first ones where they're looking at possibly changing to rated R. Really quickly, touching on Wolverine 3, there was actually some concrete evidence for this. It wasn't purely rumor. Let's see. There were actually like these flyers that were handed out. I wanted to get the information down as far as where they were handed out at. Let's see. The 20th Century Fox presentation at the New York Toy Fair 2016 had images of their upcoming slate of films, stuff like The Maze Runner, some of their other upcoming projects. Wolverine 3, let's see. I wanted to see anticipated rating for R. So they looks like they're really, really considering it. And if they can make that much off of Deadpool, there's really no reason not to try.
Yeah. I mean, at least give Hugh Jackman one rated R run.
That was always the biggest stepping block, was how much box office you make on it. And it's making more than fucking Spider-Man at rated R. Do it. And I think it's great, because I think Wolverine will really, really benefit from it too. X-Force, you said earlier you hadn't heard of them. X-Force is a lower tier X-Men title where Cable leads basically kind of like a ragtag Suicide Squad of lower tier mutant. It's a really cool comic. Some of the other members on it were Deadpool, so they can tie him back into that. And that's the other thing. Deadpool made so much money. He's going to be in at least 2 more Deadpool movies. Oh, yeah. He's going to be in every X-Men title they can possibly throw him in.
If they start trying to turn X-Men into the MCU, Deadpool's going to be in every movie.
Deadpool now is he's...
And Ryan Reynolds is fine with that.
Yeah.
You know he's fine with that.
Ryan Reynolds was the most vocal person out of all of them, because he's been trying to get that movie made the way it exists now for 10 years. That's what he was saying. Like, that script's been floating around forever. They can never get it off. Like, it was just a production nightmare, and to ensure it ended up being what he wanted, he signed up as a producer for it, because he was vocal about, I am not having what happened with Green Lantern and with X-Men Origins happen again. He's like, I am going to make sure people get the Deadpool movie they want and the one they deserve.
And that's another interesting point also, if you think about it. When a franchise fails and then it starts up again, very rarely do you get the same actor back.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. He was a failed Deadpool and a successful Deadpool both.
It's crazy. It's crazy. A lot of times you don't even get a chance to play a different hero for the second time. Yeah. So it's nuts what happened. Like, I'm more than anything, I'm so happy this movie has been a success. I'm like, for more so than the fans, for Ryan Reynolds, because like he worked his ass off to get that movie made the way it was, and I'm so happy that it's now become, like they say in the movie, a fucking franchise. So X-Force I think would be really cool. We mentioned it's led by Cable, so one of our TV shows we've been recently talking about is probably, I think, what people have seen him in most recently. That's Into the Badlands, which stars...
Probably the most famous thing people will see him in is Avatar. James Cameron's Avatar.
Stephen Lang is an actor Ron and I have both been vocal about really, really liking. And he took to Twitter immediately over the weekend, like it's probably like Saturdays, as soon as Deadpool, started hitting strong on the box office over the weekend. He was like, give me Cable for the sequels and for X-Force, whatever the fuck they end up doing. But he was like, give me Cable. And why is he not already been signed up? Seriously. I don't know, because he looks the part. He's an awesome actor. he's a really hard character to cast too, because Cable's in like his 50s. He's a huge dude and he needs to look like he can whoop ass. How many 50
Google Stephen Lang right now.
how many gray-haired dudes in their late 50s do you know that can look like they whoop major ass other than Stephen Lang? Like, it's a short list.
I mean, and Into the Badlands, you watch Stephen Lang in a wheelchair whoop ass. So, I mean, come on.
He's like, everyone who has somewhat listened to us knows we fucking hate Avatar, but he's good in that movie. He's the only salvageable part of that movie for me.
Pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, he should already, him as Cable is up there with like the Bernthals as Punishers of the world. Like, he's very, very good choice for it. So what's funny is a former coworker and I were actually, way before Deadpool ended up becoming a thing, they were talking about X-Force a few years ago when they were starting to approach X-Men at Fox like they do everything at the MCU.
Yeah.
And X-Force started getting thrown around. So my coworker and I were always saying, like, for the X-Force movie, like, Stephen Lang for Cable. So it's so fucking awesome that, like, Stephen Lang himself is, like, put me in the role.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
Another example of, like, Idris Elba and Haley Atwell, the awesome actor wants something, sign them the fuck up for it. You will not regret it.
Yeah, sign them up when you can, because... Yeah. I mean, Stephen Lang isn't up there with those two as far as being wanted for multiple roles, but just why not? Like, get him signed up sooner rather than later before he's... Because, like, if Idris Elba specifically is saying, I want to be in the movie, the dude is popping up in everything all the time. Like, he has the limited time frame to do stuff, so... Sign the people up when they are vocal about wanting the roles.
Actually, two of them are fucking up, not signing up Idris Elba, because didn't he say he wants to be Jon Stewart Green Lantern also?
Yeah.
So James Bond and that
sitting there,
he'd be good for either one of those roles.
I'd be okay with Idris Elba as Batman. I'd be okay with Idris Elba as Indiana Jones. I don't fucking care. He can do anything.
I'm sorry, he's just too street for those roles.
Oh, he's too street for Indiana Jones. That guy never gonna fucking live that quote down.
Not if we can help it.
All right, yeah. Seriously though, as a cap to all the Deadpool discussion, go fucking watch Deadpool. And if you have seen Deadpool, go watch it again, because I want to go see it a third time. This is fucking awesome. We're going to move on to a little bit more Marvel-related news, moving over to the MCU this time, though, and that is we are updating a previous story we've reported on a couple times related to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
But with good news this time.
Kurt Russell has been rumored for the role, which is never been confirmed, but we kind of can guesstimate what it is. He is confirmed as being a major character in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. They released that little tidbit along with an image of their production officially starting. Look up the image. It's very, very cool. It's just kind of like their silhouettes in a backdrop with the logo. Notable thing with it, though, Groot is still, like, growing.
Yes.
I didn't even think about them like making that a thing where he'd be growing. Like, I always assumed
he'd be
opening scene of the movie, he's back to big Groot. But I think that's awesome. He'd be like little baby Groot for half the movie.
He's like a foot tall on Drax's shoulder. Yeah. But no, they have confirmed Kurt Russell, as you said. They have not confirmed his role yet.
He's Star-Lord's dad. He's Star-Lord's dad.
You don't go out and get Kurt Russell and not make him.
He's Star-Lord's dad, and he's also the villain.
Yes.
Because there's no way he's not, because he's the first notable actor added to it outside of the original main cast.
Yes.
So, duh, he has to be. He has to be. There's no one else he could be.
The other actors that they confirmed for being in the movie, and they did not confirm their roles, you and I both did not know, which is rare. Usually, at least you know them.
Yeah, with my IMDb brain.
Yeah. I don't even know how to say this. I got Elizabeth down, but is it Debicki or something like that?
No clue.
Famously of The Great Gatsby, never saw it.
Me either.
And Chris Sullivan, famously of Nick. Don't know him, never seen it.
I wanted to watch the Nick. That was the Clive Owen show.
Was it?
On Showtime, where he's like a doctor in the 1800s or something.
Yep. Those are the three actors that they confirmed.
I'm sure they're good. They don't hire bad actors for Marvel.
No, they don't. Even for the villains that they don't develop. Which, you brought up an interesting point earlier today when we were texting about this. They're probably going to pull a 180 on that. Because in the first Guardians, one thing that you and I say a lot, that's probably the worst character development they've ever done for one of their villains.
Because you have to, like, think hard about what the fuck was his agenda even really in the movie.
Well, most of the time I don't even remember his name. I have to sit and think before I even remember his name. So
Ronan and the Accursed, I think was his name.
Was it? I know it was Ronan, but
Ronan the Accursed, I think, was his title.
Fuck it. Anyways,
and I'm the comic guy. I don't even fucking know his name.
Yeah. So, but again, that movie was so good, you didn't really care. You kind of like, oh, what are you talking about?
It didn't hurt it. It just like when we talked.
It didn't help it, but it didn't hurt.
When we went into detail, a good villain could have escalated the movie instead of not hampering it.
But you don't go out and get Kurt Russell and give him 3 minutes of screen time and 2 lines.
I think they have taken notice of what was, and it'd be hard for them not to notice that complaint, because that was the only complaint about the movie, really.
Yeah,
for the most part, everyone loved the movie. It's a lot of fun. The villain sucked.
Even the honest trailer for it, the guy's like, "Come on, guys, we're really reaching here. This movie is a lot of fun." They didn't even want to do it, but they got so many tweets and Facebook.
But now they don't have they don't have to establish any of their characters anymore. It's just going to be plot and go, and the villain needs to be developed. And like you said, and what we talked about earlier, you don't go out and get Kurt fucking Russell without wanting him to be a big.
Is he one of the biggest actors ever in the MCU? One of the most legendary?
Well, yeah, as far as like iconic, probably. Yeah. I mean, probably the most is Samuel L. Jackson, I would say, like most iconic actor. But yeah, he's definitely up there easily.
And for Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's crazy, the world we live in where Kurt Russell is
in a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
First of all, that not only a Guardians of the Galaxy movie existed in the first place, but was super awesome, made an ungodly amount of money, and we're getting a sequel.
With Kurt Russell.
Oh, I love the world we live in. I love it. It's
good things ahead, Jeff.
It's Guardians 2. It's James Gunn.
Guardians Volume 2.
It's going to be awesome. I'm going to buy the soundtrack again because the soundtrack's also going to be awesome.
Yes.
And by the soundtrack, I mean Ron's going to buy the soundtrack and then burn me the soundtrack.
That's what I was thinking.
Because
I didn't know if we wanted
because I am poor and cannot afford the soundtracks, but Ron's got my back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next thing up in the news, and that is one of our all-time favorite movies is Predator. And this article,
I was not prepared.
This article came out of fucking nowhere because apparently there is a reboot / sequel / whatever the fuck they're considering it of Predator. Did you know about this? I didn't know about this. I saw on Nerdist an article pop up. It's like Predator teaser image. I was like, I didn't know there's a Predator project to tease.
Yeah.
And then when you click on it, definitely look up the image. You can't miss it because it's just a fucking badass poster. It's zoom in.
I don't know, Jeff. You'll never see it coming.
I knew you were fucking couldn't help yourself. Yeah, it's a cool little teaser image. Apparently, Shane Black is involved, which is interesting to me because this is not a movie I would peg Shane Black for. Shane Black is most famously known for Lethal Weapon, Last Boy Scout, Long Kiss Goodnight. Very, very a lot of big hitters in the 90s, late 80s. He kind of
all with an emphasis on action.
Yeah. If you haven't seen, all those movies are great if you haven't seen them.
I just wanted to point that out because typically in Predator 1, 2, and even Predators had a lot more action, I would say like straight up action probably than Predator and Predator 2 because most of the time it's like it's a Predator map for him, basically. He's going around doing stealth kills and stuff like that. So I'm thinking a lot more open warfare with a Predator if we got him doing it after Last Boy Scout and Lethal Weapon and all that.
Yeah, he's directing it, I think.
I think he's writing and directing.
I think he's directing and then he's co-writing with someone else. I forget the other writer. But I think that's really interesting. It's very odd for him to attach himself to that. But I think it ended up probably being pretty good because when you think about it, the original first Predator is
he's co-writing with Fred Decker.
It was someone I wasn't familiar with.
Night of the Creeps and Monster Squad and several episodes of Tales from the Crypt. It says so creepy and action packed.
Yeah, I think Predator will be interesting with Shane Black because like the first one is actually a pretty funny movie when you go back and watch it. Like there's good dialogue with it.
Yeah,
and Shane Black is an amazing dialogue writer, probably more so than anything. So I think it's a good pick. Just did they ever have any details on when this might become a thing?
I'm looking at it.
It's still in very early production. I don't even think they have a script finished yet.
No idea about when this movie might come out or who might be in it. Straight from Nerd Tits.
I want Tom Hardy, and I want Mad Max versus Predator in the fucking jungle, dude. That would be amazing. That would be fucking amazing.
Be pretty awesome. Tom Hardy and the John Connor guy.
Oh, yeah.
Them team up against the Predator.
I always forget his freaking name, but I like that.
Jason Clark? No.
Jason something Clark.
I'm going to IMDb.
Okay, you do that.
Okay.
I'll try to vamp.
Okay.
So, here's a question.
Jason Clark. Holy shit.
You had one before me. I think I need to just retire my position on the podcast. So,
I feel like I need to pop some champagne.
Predator 2 was the Danny Glover one, right?
Yes.
Did they have a movie in between that and Predators, or was that it?
No, Predators was originally supposed to be... It was originally titled Predator 3, and it was the script for it was actually done the same time Predator 2 was, but Predator 2 bombed at box office and critically. So it never happened.
Yeah.
The reason Predators happened recently was they thought... Predator 2's been swept under the rug, renamed it Predators.
And AVP happened, and they were actually good money makers for the company.
So they dusted it off, renamed it Predators.
I remember. I like that movie. I mean, it wasn't like incredible, but I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I mean,
everything
else,
else,
a Predator movie.
Like everything else, it got more shit than it deserved because I'm pretty sure that was another one that people took a piss on. So
it was.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, I liked it. It's just very odd. Like if you discount Alien versus Predator is a very, very well-known property that not a lot of like movies or TV activity has happened with. It's kind of strange.
Nerd Tits had an interesting thing at the end of the article too. The way they worded it. You know how they have place for comments on their articles? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on the Predator remake / reboot / exploration? Which I never really thought about, but if you think about it, we don't know shit about Predator. Mm-hmm. We don't know what their race is actually called. We don't know. We see a little bit of their planet in AVP and AVPR. We see a lot more of it in AVPR because the one that comes to Earth comes from his planet. But aside from that, you don't know any of their language. You hear them click and stuff every once in a while, but you don't know if they're talking or grunting or what. You don't know shit about them. So it actually wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination to either go a Prometheus route with it in some way or to try to mimic the MCU with it in Alien somehow.
Yeah, it's weird too because you and I are in agreement. As a concept, Predator is much cooler than Alien.
Oh yeah,
but Alien has always been the one to just crush at the box office. It's weird.
Alien was the first movie that ever scared me shitless because I was too young. I snuck out after my parents went to bed. I snuck into the living room and watched it because they wouldn't let me, and I've never been scared in a movie since because nothing tops what Alien did to me as a child.
Ridley Scott warped your little 9-year-old brain.
Pretty much. So, yeah, I was about 8, 9 probably. So, but aside from that, I find Predator much more terrifying of a concept because Alien is a feral creature, which makes it predictable, which they use against it in the movies several times, right? Because it just acts on instinct. It doesn't strategize. Predator is fucking sentient. He's much more intelligent than humans, and he's got advanced technology and weaponry, and he's doing it for the fucking fun of it. No other reason.
He can be fucking invisible.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a much more terrifying concept.
I really want to watch.
But it's so cool because he's not necessarily without honor either.
Because of the AVP stuff, they the girl who ends up taking out an alien. I think he doesn't he kind of indoctrinate her with their tribe type thing. Yeah,
she basically becomes an unofficial predator. And then in the first movie, the chick went to pick up a gun, and Arnold kicks it out of her hands. And when he sees she's unarmed, he just ignores her, and stuff like that. It's
an amazing concept that they really have not done enough with. Yeah, I'm hoping this gets off the ground pretty soon because I could go for another Predator movie for sure.
Oh yeah,
especially with some Shane Black dialogue written into it.
And it's amazing too that we get Alien Isolation. But we haven't had anything Predator.
That's a good point too. There's not really because how much. Well, I think they did have Now I remember, did they not ever have an AVP R game? Because didn't they have the original one that like the movie was kind of loosely based off? Did they ever do any more with that?
I don't think they did.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever did anything more with it. And it's kind of ironic because I don't remember which came first. AVP the game or AVP the comics, and then the game, and then we had the movies, and they went back to game.
I think it'd be really, really fun if, you know, in Star Wars Battlefront, they have the mode where it's like hero hunt.
Yeah.
How much fun would it be? One person's a predator, and you got 6 dudes that are regular, like, army dudes trying to kill a predator. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and, you know, it takes, like, the entire group, like, 2 or 3 tries to take down the one predator.
Yeah, I think it'd be hella fun, and totally, I mean, shit, the gaming industry is also similar to Hollywood, very, very strict on not wanting to start new properties. So Predator's just chilling there, like someone do something with it. It's a notable property at least. So yeah, they should look into that. That's a good point. I never really thought of that. Let's see, we got one more thing left in the movie news to get to. Why don't we queue up? Get it prepared on the drops, Ron.
All right.
We have the official sequel and spin-off slate for Transformers. You know what I'm talking about.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay. Do you have the details as far as all of the sequel shenanigans?
There's not a whole lot out there yet. It was mostly just the timeline. Basically, and this seems like they're doing all this intentionally. Transformers 5, which is a clusterfuck between Mark Wahlberg and Michael Bay, is currently shooting for June 23rd, 2017. Any particular reason why that date sounds familiar, Jeff?
Could it be Wonder Woman?
I do believe it is, sir.
One of them. They've already played that game between Marvel and DC. One of them will budge because it makes no sense for either one of them to hurt the other one.
Well, the reason why I say that this, since they're doing this intentionally, is because the standalone Bumblebee movie, which is still kind of up in the air. They still don't know what they're doing. It keeps going back and forth between. This is 5 days ago. This article. It's Transformers 6. This article was yesterday, and it's Bumblebee. And even in that article, it says it could still just be Transformers 6. So,
what do you do in a Bumblebee movie?
I don't know.
Okay, we haven't.
He doesn't even talk.
We haven't seen Transformers 4, the Marky Mark one yet, but I'm assuming he doesn't talk yet.
Yeah,
it's like, what the fucking hell are you gonna do?
How many rights to songs can you buy?
Even if he did talk,
yeah,
what would you do for a 2-hour Bumblebee movie?
I don't know. I really don't know. But that one is slated for June 8th. I think it's supposed to be 2018 because it's supposed to be 17, 18, and 19, but this article has 2016 written, so 6 would not be coming out before 5. But that is the same date as Godzilla, the Godzilla sequel. So they're clearly doing this shit intentionally. Why, I don't know, but
a lot of times,
because I'll tell you right fucking now, between Transformers 6 and Godzilla sequel, I will be buying Godzilla. I hated that movie.
A lot of the time, when the way that the studios set up their schedule like this, when it's for shit that's so far out, where like, especially sequels, a lot of times they will just pick a weekend willy-nilly, because it honestly doesn't matter, because they're probably going to end up getting like delayed in production or have a strategic change in it.
I was going to say the one for Transformers 5, the 2017 date, to me is probably a lot more concrete, simply because it's so much closer. Because when you get to 2018 and then June 28th, 2019, that's a long ways out.
The only good thing about this news is that if they do actually get on the ball...
Most movies don't even get a release date before they've written the fucking script like they've done here. So these are going to be changing.
The only good thing about this news is that if they actually are on the ball and make that many, there is no way Michael Bay can do all of them.
Yes.
Now, as soon as we get
one a year for 3 years.
As soon as we get one of these that is not directed by Michael Bay, I will more than gladly check it out. But I'm fucking done watching Michael Bay Transformer movies because they're all fucking bad.
Well, it's funny you say that, because the reason I picked this article to talk about You remember the Transformers Cinematic Universe think tank that was headed up by Robert Kirkman, Zach Penn,
the
Jeff
Iron
Pinkner,
Man writers, I think,
and Stephen Decknight?
Stephen DeKnight. Yeah, that's the actual guy who was the showrunner of Daredevil season 1.
They are apparently looking forward to making 9 additional films, which means 12 if you count these.
Jesus Christ, dude! There's only so many ways.
Michael Bay got burned out after like 2 or 3, so hopefully that will come to pass.
What sucks, dude, is that Michael Bay has been saying each of these is going to be his last one, and then he always signs back up for them. It's just like, dude, go do something else.
Yeah.
It's just like, give it a... I mean, well, you know why he isn't getting talked back into it? Because it's like, I don't have to try on these movies. I show up, do a half-ass job, because the movie will still end up making bank.
Half-ass would have been so much better of a movie than what he's doing with them.
It's a
Fucking
struggle.
Bayformers.
It's a struggle, man. I feel bad for like people like you and Phil who are really, really diehard Transformers fans who have been kind of freaking shat on because
that's why I love Platinum Games so much.
Because Devastation is like just an ungodly.
I cried like Kevin Smith watching The Flash cried almost at the end of that game, dude.
And it's frustrating.
And I cry at the end of every one of these Transformers movies, but for an entirely different reason.
It's just frustrating because how much more of an easy concept can you get than robots punching each other in the face?
Right, it's Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That's all you need to do.
And he still manages a way to fuck it all up because he injects his own... We've been bitching about Michael Bay for too long. But yeah,
we have. I do want to mention one more thing before we move on that you brought up that I didn't see in this same article. Another reason why I picked this article. There's also a Transformers animated movie in the works that will reportedly explore the origins of their homeworld Cybertron.
You know what the good thing about an animated...
You
know what the good thing about an animated one is, though? It's not going to be people starring Transformers as side characters.
Yeah.
That is also a huge problem with these fucking movies. Why is Age of Extinction 3.5 hours long?
Is it really?
It's a fucking Transformer movie. I was obviously being hyperbolic, but it is like 2 hours and 35 or 40. It's ridiculous. Like, I would rather have... Like, if you could give me an 80-minute Transformers movie that was directed by, like, Del Toro...
Oh my god, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Is it 45? I knew it was something just ungodly.
Yeah.
If I would take, in a heartbeat, an 80-minute Transformers movie that only starred the Transformers, because that's another huge problem with those movies, is Transformers... is a lie to the audience because they're barely in the goddamn movie. Yeah. They disappear in Transformers 3 for what, like 30 minutes at one point? It's brutal.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense at all. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked.
What were you trying to find?
I knew the name T.J. Miller, but I didn't know where from.
He's a Deadpool director, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where was he associated with? Is he one of the think tank guys?
No, he's one of the actors in Transformers Age of Extinction.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's very random.
That's what caught my attention because I was looking at him like, really? Really? Stanley Tucci, Kelsey Grammer, T.J. Miller.
Stanley Tucci was in Transformers?
This
is the first I've heard of this.
He was in Age of Extinction.
Somebody needed a paycheck.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyways,
yeah,
fuck Transformers. Moving on. Moving on to something that you and I will not be watching until April.
So, there's a new Daredevil trailer. It's apparently the tits. It has a whole lot of the Punisher and Elektra. And I'm not watching it because, as much as I love it, I watched the first couple of trailers they had, and that has got me super psyched for it. I can't wait for it. But they're starting to probably show a little bit more than I want to see, so I have shut myself off.
Today is the 17th of February, so we're probably right around 2 months out. I don't need the trailer at this point.
No, I think it's 1 month, actually. I think it's March 18th.
Is it March? I thought it was April again.
It's March because, you remember, it was originally slated opposite Batman vs. Superman, and they bumped it up a week.
And they moved it,
so I think it is...
Okay.
I think it is March 18th. So the time this goes up, it'll be about exactly 1 month.
Okay. So yeah, definitely not
Definitely can wait 1 month. Yeah. But it's apparently a whole lot of John Bernthal Punisher and a little bit more of Elektra, so if you don't care about spoilers, watch it. I'm sure it's amazing, but like you said... Neither one of us will be watching it. As much as it pains me in my brain to not watch because I am so excited.
Is it coming out on a Friday, I'm assuming? Like they have been?
It's Thursday night at like 2 a.m.
Which is Friday at midnight on the West Coast.
Yeah. I will
Okay.
be up at 2 a.m. watching it.
So then Saturday night we'll be watching that trailer because we will be done marathoning the show.
Dude, you heard me. I like Jessica Jones, but I had a lot of complaints about it. I watched that in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Daredevil is going to be a 12-hour marathon of me watching Daredevil. It's like, what shirt am I wearing right now, Ron? Fucking Daredevil. I fucking adore that show. All right, moving on to a trailer we actually did. I ended up watching. Did you watch this one?
Yes.
The only reason I ended up watching this one is because I saw it was like 30 seconds long. And Batman vs. Superman can show a lot in 30 seconds, but I didn't really expect this TV show to be able to show me too much of a spoiler in 30 seconds.
Well, I mean, the first time I saw this, it was a TV spot.
Is it a TV spot? Okay.
Yeah. That's why it was 30 seconds.
The Night Manager, which if you are familiar with this, definitely...
It's the 30 seconds that is all you need to know about it.
Well, all you need to know to get sold on it is the IMDb page.
Yes.
Because the first two names you see are Tom Hiddleston and Hugh fucking Laurie, and it's like, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It could be a Carrot Top biopic, and I would watch it with those two guys associated with it. With this, it is, I think it was originally a novel that is being adapted into a 6-part miniseries type event. I'm pretty sure it's a miniseries.
It's a miniseries. I was trying to remember if it's like 6 or 8 parts.
6 or 8, something like that. Tom Hiddleston is
which
basically...
is becoming a popular model, if you notice.
I just started 11/22/63. That's also an 8-part event, which I'm totally cool with. Yeah. It's a good way to properly do novels as TV shows because
instead of condensing it into a 2 to 2.5 hour movie, you can actually take your time with it.
And also,
they're basically following a Game of Thrones model with it, is what they're doing.
And since it's a miniseries, you don't run into the problem of what do we do now?
Yes.
Like it's over and done, and you tell the story that was always meant to be told instead of elongating it like we talked before Man in the High Castle's doing.
And it totally works because this is the golden age of television right now. So this is the perfect place to show all this and to do everything in miniseries format.
Now, I'm probably going to butcher a little bit of the synopsis for it because I am trying to stay away from specifics, but from what I can tell, Tom Hiddleston is a spy.
Yes. To
some degray, and Hugh Laurie is the villain who is like
all you need to know.
Who is like an arms dealer, I think is what he's doing. They very, very they show you very little in the TV spot, which I appreciate, but it's enough. Like all you need to know is those two names, and
Hugh Laurie villain is really all you need to know.
And I'm sure anyone listening to us at this point would know Tom Hiddleston is Loki.
Yeah,
Tom Hiddleston. Have you ever seen him in other roles besides Loki?
Very few.
The dude has some really, really good range. Like, did you see the trailer for where he's playing in the biopic for Hank Williams?
I have not seen the trailer, but I heard no matter what you think of that movie, like you can't deny how good he is.
He's first of all, he's British.
Yeah.
Playing an American dude, he's doing the songs.
Yeah, he's doing the songs himself, no auto-tune, too.
That's crazy. Like, I can't even sing, period. He's singing in a different accent really well, doing an impersonation of a dude without shitting all over the music. Like, that's just insane. Dude's phenomenal. Like, I'm glad he... Man, the original... Like, a lot of people don't fully appreciate how good the casting was for Thor 1, because it gave us Chris Hemsworth, and it gave us Tom Hiddleston, who are now... Tom Hiddleston pretty much is A-list, and Chris Hemsworth, everyone loves him. You know, it's just crazy. Like, not enough respect, I don't think, goes to.
Well, I mean, without Thor, Chris Hemsworth never would have been the secretary in Ghostbusters.
I
know. Where would we be?
As a society, we would be fucking lost. So yeah, definitely check that out. Also, check out Daredevil if you do not care about the spoilers. And we've got one more thing to get to, and we are done for the day. We've got an itty-bitty bit of gaming news, and it has become the Dark Souls news story of the week, apparently.
Now to the Dark Souls section of the
obligatory
podcast.
Dark Souls section. Dark Souls 3 has been confirmed for 2 DLC packs that you can buy with 1 season pass. I was really concerned about this, because the trend for gaming now is, well... That DLC is now $50, like, minimum.
No, if they were following trends, Dark Souls 3 would be episodic.
Oh, goddamn. Could you imagine, like...
No, I can't imagine because you and I would still be buying it.
Fucking, it says like the first episode, one bonfire. The DLC pass.
That's the name of the first episode. One bonfire.
Could you imagine if you split up Dark Souls 3 episodically? Would it be like 500 episodes?
Why is there not a YouTube channel that is basically called The Bonfire that is just like animated Dark Souls characters hanging out around a bonfire like office workers around a water cooler?
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Drinking Estus flask while they're talking.
And they do a whole lot of Office Space, like they have like their own little Solaire is like Lumberg or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be all over that.
Gwen is Lumberg.
A lot of fucking great Dark Souls parodies are on YouTube. Good stuff, especially like Dark Sauce.
Yes,
I really enjoy that.
I still need to
one.
watch the rest of those.
So I was super fucking concerned about this because
we have a story.
Battlefront. I fucking adore that game. Fuck their DLC because it was $50 for a whole lot of shit. Like, I will grant them they had a good amount of maps included with it, but not enough to justify $50. Yeah. There is no way it could ever justify almost the entirety of the price of the game.
Yeah,
there is no way. Arkham Knight,
unless you're giving me some Witcher 3 level stuff.
Yeah, Arkham Knight. I fucking adore that game. Fuck their DLC. That was probably even more egregious than Battlefront.
It was much more egregious because it was just skins.
It was skins, and when they actually
30-minute fucking add-ons.
It was like like a lot of Let's Players.
It was almost insulting.
I think it was completely insulting because a lot of Let's Players, for an example, do what we do in a lot of times with their new games. They have part 1, part 2. Didn't even have enough material to finish part 2 of their Let's Plays because they finished the DLC. Fuck you, Rocksteady. I love you, but fuck you for that.
Yeah.
Side note, while we're talking about Arkham Knight, did you hear they just now officially canceled the Mac and Linux releases for Arkham Knight? It's like, oh man. You made those poor souls who were waiting for the Mac release of Arkham Knight because the PC release went so swimmingly. I just thought that was hilarious. But yeah, okay. Back to Dark Souls 3, the DLC. There's going to be 2 packs. You can buy them both together with the Season Pass for $25. If they are anywhere close to the quality or time link that Artorias of the Abyss was, the Dark Souls 1 DLC, which I really, really liked. That one was $20 originally. If it's anywhere close to that, I think that's perfectly reasonable for $25.
Yeah.
I'm hoping with Miyazaki.
Well, especially if that's the season pass, there's going to be 2 packs that add weapons and story and maps.
With Miyazaki back on it, that helps too. A lot of people had complaints about Dark Souls 2 DLCs. I think by the end of it, you ended up getting a solid amount of return for your investment, but it's Dark Souls without Miyazaki is just not Dark Souls, in my opinion. I still ended up really liking Dark Souls 2, but it was a step down from 1. I think 99% of the community would agree with that.
I'm like an hour into it, and I can tell you right now, it's a step down.
It's not that it's bad. It's just like that first one. There was something really sublime about that game that you really can't even explain.
The area that I'm in right now in Dark Souls 2, I would say it's bad. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with Dark Souls, the first one, compared to my 1 hour experience with Dark Souls 2. So I would give you that it's like a 1 hour's worth of experience.
You're probably in the wrong area too,
but
I can almost guarantee you're in the wrong area.
But here's the thing. Even in the first Dark Souls, you didn't run into this problem of I have fought like 3 guys in the first hour of gameplay.
I'm 99% sure you're in the wrong fucking place.
The thing that I appreciated the most about Dark Souls 1 is what most people appreciate about 2 particular Zelda games, which was the SNES version and then Ocarina of Time, and that is the balance between like puzzle / exploration and combat. Like Dark Souls 1 has a very good balance between running around and the amount of combat you do. So far I am finding that out of balance. But.
Well, to be fair, you're also you had a very specific experience with Dark Souls 1 because your first experience with it was via our Let's Play where I could tell you what to do and where to go. a lot of people had the exact same thing happen to them with Dark Souls 1 that you have right now. Because what they did was they went down to fucking New Londo, where they're not supposed to be for like 40 levels, and then they're fighting Ghost, which you can't kill.
But at the same time, there is still like shit happening.
I wish we had. Well, it's funny now because we've been able to talk about it, but I want to, before I leave tonight, figure out where the fuck you are, because I'm just curious, like where the fuck you managed to find yourself.
I'm not the fucking statue of the chick.
Because the thing with Dark Souls 2, I can assure you, there's fucking dudes to kill, and there's a lot of them. It's just a manner of getting. That's the hardest thing with the Souls games, is getting started for sure. Because like look at your
bro, I'll be hitting your YouTube channel soon.
Yeah, very soon. Just like look at your gameplay from episode 1. Even if you skip like 5 episodes,
yeah,
like it's a learning curve. Now, I'm not saying Dark Souls 2 is amazing or bad. It's just it's different, and I prefer 1. But with 3, with Miyazaki back, I would actually. Now, I'm the type of person now, especially now, I do not buy season passes of anything or any DLC until I hear feedback about it. Anyone who does is insane after what we've gone through the last year.
Yeah.
Because the only person that you mentioned, the only company that you mentioned...
The only things I ever did was Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 because I wanted the zombies maps, and it's cheaper. If you look at, everything else you get in perspective with everything else, it was actually cheaper to just do it. So I bought those.
With
everything else, I said fuck it.
Definitely wait for feedback on any DLC, and even then, it's sometimes just arguably not worth it, because even if it's good, you have to figure out how long it is.
Yeah. The thing I wish people would stop doing is pre-ordering.
Dude, it's ridiculous. I do not understand how the gaming industry made it a thing where it's okay to pay for the thing that isn't even fucking finished yet.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
As
we could do an entire podcast of me bitching about pre-ordering. I completely agree with you.
What's that game that's been on early access for like 5 years?
Minecraft?
Is it really?
Minecraft was on... I mean, it's probably official now, but for a long, long time it was...
No, there's like a zombie one.
DayZ? DayZ is...
Is it DayZ?
Infamously known
for... That doesn't sound right. I don't know. There's a...
I think it's DayZ.
Is it DayZ? I don't know.
If it's a zombie
Sounds
one
like a rapper.
If it's a zombie game that's been in production for way too fucking long and people are still playing the early model, I'm pretty sure.
I feel like it had like Daylight in the name or something.
Dying Light is
Dying Light.
That's an official release. That wasn't like an early access type of thing. That was just Dying Light because it just came out. Remember, that's the parkour one.
Yeah, that's the parkour one that I was trying to think of. It. I thought it was in like early access for like ever.
That's DayZ.
That's DayZ.
DayZ is like the RPG, RPG as a motherfucker. Like if you fall off of a building, your legs break and you're crawling. Like not even kidding. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. We'll confirm it after the episode, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what one you're thinking of. But Dark Souls 3 comes out either April 12th or April 26th. I get them mixed up with the Japanese release because I think it's like a week or two earlier. But it's in April. I can't wait because like the one game we end up talking about in some way is Dark Souls.
Yeah.
And the fucking sequential we just wrapped is Dark Souls. Obviously, we're giant fans. But yeah, cannot wait. I will be devouring... And by devouring, I mean the game will devour me any which way it wants.
And all of your souls in humanity.
Yeah. I'm not coming out of my room for like a long time. Dark Souls 3.
Well, not before you go hollow, anyway.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, guys, that is going to be a wrap to our episode 47. You'd think we'd be better at this by now. If you would like to catch us more, like and subscribe. You get all of our content via our YouTube channel. You get all of the podcasts, all the Let's Plays, all the commentaries. Check us out on social medias. Our Twitter at TWBE Podcast or Facebook.com/TWBE Podcast. And I think that's about it for today. I am Jeff.
I'm Ron.
We will see you in the next episode.